Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics. First, the highlights. President Bola Tinubu departs Abuja in company of some ministers and industrialists to attend G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi, India. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu launches Blue Line Rail to full commercial operations as he rides from Marina to Mile 2 end of Lagos. Plus, Labour Party leaders in Edo State reject results of Saturday's local government elections over allegations of widespread electoral malpractices. Welcome to the program. I'm Millicent Walker in Lagos. We begin with the much anticipated verdict of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which is expected to be delivered on Wednesday, September the 6th. This was made known to Channels Television by the Registrar of the Court of Appeal, Omar Bangari, who confirmed that the proceedings of the court will be open to live broadcast by interested television stations. The Labour Party, the People's Democratic Party and Allied People's Movement, as well as their presidential candidates, had petitioned the tribunal seeking to nullify the election of President Bola Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential election. The judgment is also expected to be delivered by election tribunals in 25 states for governorship, National Assembly and State Assembly election petitions. The results of the polls announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, are being contested in no fewer than 25 out of the 28 states where elections were conducted. All the way from legal matters, President Bola Tinubu leaves for the G20 summit holding in New Delhi, India. He has his eyes set on foreign investors. In a statement by the presidential spokesman, Adrian Gilali, the president will use the opportunity of the summit to attract global capital and promote increased foreign direct investments in key labor-intensive sectors of Nigeria's economy for job creation and revenue expansion. According to him, on the sidelines of the summit, the president will participate and deliver keynote addresses at both the Nigeria-India Presidential Roundtable and the Nigeria-India Business Conference. The statement further notes that while Nigeria's membership of the G20 is desirable, the government has embarked on wide-ranging consultations with a view to finding out the benefits and risks of membership, after which the government will decide whether or not to apply to join as appropriate. The president is accompanied on the trip by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, and the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite. And history is being made in Lagos and indeed Nigeria as a whole as the first metro rail transport begins commercial operation in the state today. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has taken an inaugural ride on the line from Marina, Lagos Island, to Mile 2 in Lagos mainland on the corridor towards the border with Benin Republic. The first phase of the rail line extends from Marina to Mile 2 with 5 stations located in Marina, the National Theatre, Igomu, Alaba and Orile. According to the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata, the train would run only 12 trips with the locomotive system for the first month. Afterwards, the electric-powered train operation will begin with 76 trips. An estimated passenger capacity between 150,000 and 175,000 are expected to take rides from 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Well, hopefully we'll touch base with our correspondents to find out about that experience. But let's still talk more politics, this time in Edo State, where the Independent Electoral Commission has declared the ruling People's Democratic Party winner of the chairmanship elections in all 18 local government areas of the state, and what is called a landslide victory. The PDP, the All Progressives Congress, and the Labour Party were the main political parties in the contest for the chairmanship chairmanship in the local government areas, as well as councillors of all the wards. Meanwhile, the governor, Godwin Obaseki, he commended citizens of the state for the peaceful conduct in the just concluded local government elections.
We are democratically matured in this state. In terms of the way the elections were conducted, I was pleasantly surprised by the diligence of EDSEC. I went round, and the number of polling units I saw manned by EDSEC and the various electoral officers was quite impressive. I mean, across at least 3 metropolitan local governments, the turnout was fair, as expected, but we also showed that we can conduct elections without disrupting activities, people's economic and social activities. People voted and went about their various activities for the weekend. So overall, I believe that we have done well, and we have shown that it was free, it was fair, there was mass participation, and the dominance of PDP as a party in this state was clearly exhibited in the election. I've not seen an election that has not been challenged. In America, elections are challenged, and that's why provisions are made in the law and in the process for tribunals to review and adjudicate on the cases or complaints of contestants. So, but overall, I mean, you could see the evidence is very overwhelming. PDP campaigned. The campaign for this local government election as if it was a major national election. I went with them around the 18 local governments of the state. I know that there were campaigns. The councillors campaigned rigorously in the various wards, and I didn't see too much presence from the opposition. So I'm not surprised at all at the results we saw yesterday. But more importantly, it's the response of the people. There was no violence, and it was clear that the results reflected the wishes of the people.
Meanwhile, for others, Labour Party leaders in Edo State, they've called for cancellation of Saturday's local government council elections over allegations of widespread electoral malpractices. The party leader in Edo Central, Friday Ibadan, claims that the just concluded election was devoid of any element of credibility. He adds that the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission in some cases arrived at polling booths when the electorate had gone home, having waited endlessly without their arrival on schedule. In other areas, he said ballot boxes were snatched, voters driven out of polling booths under severe threats and violence. He also says the poll was a selection process flawed in all ramifications, calling for its cancellation in the 18 local government areas of the state, covering Edo North, Edo Central, Edo South senatorial districts, where he said PDP candidates were declared winners amid protests in the interest of democracy and rule of law. We head to River State, where the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress has expressed their disapproval over what they describe as neglect by President Bola Tinubu in the area of federal appointments. It was a protest earlier today where APC members representing all the local government areas in the state lament the apparent consideration of opposition party members of the state, particularly the People's Democratic Party, in appointments to federal boards, agencies and parastatals, calling it a flouting of Article 9, Sub 3, Part 3 of the party's constitution, which states that the APC-led governments at all levels shall accord qualified members of the party priority in appointments to positions in ministries, departments, and also agencies. They say such action, the action such as this, can negatively affect the survival of the party in the state. And they're calling on the president to listen to their pleas, with the state party members feeling rather forgotten, having worked for his emergence as president of the country. Recall that a similar cry was also made from Cross River and Ondo states, with the APC members of those states protested the consideration of the opposition party members in appointments to the NDDC board, calling for inclusion in federal appointments by the president.
At this point, we should remind Mr. President that the people you see as members of APC were part of his political journey right from the days of ACN, yes, up until the time he joined the APC. In 2000, the APC was formed in 2014. We were here, and some of us were part of the formative stages of the APC. We were here when the president, in company of other leaders of our party, came to Rivers State to ask us to join the APC movement, and we obliged. Ever since, we have worked so hard for this party, paid sacrifices. We have lost our members in the course of defending this party and projecting the progressive ideology. We are surprised at this point, having won, having seen that the president has ascended the office, PDP members are benefiting from our labors. It is now a case of monkey they walk, babu they chop. We are saying no to that.
Today, people who maimed members of the APC, people who stood against the survival of the APC are benefiting from where they did not sow. Yes. And we are saying no. No to monkey go walk, bamboo go chop. We are saying we are members of the APC. Yes. We believe in your struggle. True. We believe in the administration of President President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes. And we stood and campaigned. Those members that are benefiting today never had any evidence to prove that they campaigned for you.
Well, joining us to take a closer look at this is a River State APC member, Mr. Douglas Dodi Manuel. He joins us virtually. Thanks for joining us on the program. So we're looking at the protest against the appointment of a member representing Rivers. Is it a plea, a request, or a demand to the president?
Well, good day, my friend. Yes, and good day. I don't know if I should categorize it as a demand or as a plea. It's not a plea. It's not a plea. If you look at the various points agenda of the president, I think number 7 or 8 is the rule of law. The president, as a member of the APC, has subscribed to the constitution of it. And the constitution of the APC, Article 9, sub-Article 3, sub-paragraph 3, holds that you must prioritize party members, provided that you must accord party members with priority where they are qualified members of the party for this period. On the other hand, when the president came to Rivers State for campaign, he met people at the stadium who celebrated him, who stood there, who have gone from LGA to LGA, word to word to campaign. He met people who left the oceanic fringes of Rivers State to come to the stadium from 7 a.m. to wait for him to arrive by 4 p.m. or thereabout. And he spoke to them. He made them promises of development. He gave them promises of inclusion. All we're asking the president is to live up to his integrity. We believe in him. We have stood by him. Every campaign we went, we had his banner as the backdrop. In every campaign, records are there to show. We announced to the world that he was our presidential aspirant. And today, the very people that frustrated our campaign effort are the people benefiting. There is nothing Wike has brought to the table that is praiseworthy. Wike has done nothing noble for the president. Wike cannot steal his mandate and present back the mandate to him.
So you're mentioning the former governor of Rivers State. You think he had a hand in this, in selecting the board representative?
He has a hand in it. There is no question about whether he has a hand in it or not. Wike has a hand in it. Wike is not even taking the Rivers State slot. Whatever slot he is taking, if it's an agreement slot, whatever they call it, I don't know. But Rivers State should be represented. Rivers State has eggheads. We have Tony Patrick Cole there. We have Chukwudi Dinka there. We have Nakuku Peterside there. You have me there. You have eminent people in Rivers State who are qualified, who to represent the dignity that Rivers State stands for.
So you think this was a decision was not based on competence, rather more political?
It has
what do you have against the man?
Yes. If you are talking about competence, Wike will be the last you consider. In the last 8 years, I challenge you to bring 2 Rivers State budgets in the last 8 years. You come to, Yakubu Gowon Stadium. This former governor went to Spain with state contingent, spent millions of naira, if not billions, in his voyage to Spain. So he's bringing Real Madrid Football Academy. At the end of the day, he spent billions building brick and mortar.
Let's stay within the NDDC board, which is the issue and the reason for the protest now. Do you think that these protests will be impactful? I know this is a similar occurrence that happened in Cross River. I mean, do you think the president... Yes.
The point of correction, this protest is not only about the NDDC board. The NDDC board is insulting. It's insulting. Look, we are party members and the president is our father. We will not come fidgeting before our father. Even God said we should come before him bold and make our request and make our demand. He said, concerning the work of my hand, command hear me. So when we come before our father, the leader of our party, our president, we are coming there bold and we are making our demands to him. We are making our demands to him. The man he made River State rep, Chief Tony Okocha, when the president came to the stadium, he saw the multitude, he saw the crowd. When Tony Okocha got up to speak, the crowd shut him up and told him not to speak. Tony Okocha could not utter a word. That happened before the president. And today, that is the same man you brought as our representative. Does that not insult us? You bring a former commissioner under PDP, a lackey of Wike, Boma Yaye.
Oh dear, it appears that Mr. Dodi Emmanuel, okay. You're back on. Just to quickly ask you this question, how does this appointment, this request you're making, how does it fit into the larger political landscape of the All Progressives Congress in River State?
The All Progressive Congress is fraught with competent individuals. We have worked, and when we promise people good governance, when we made promises about the president, an aspect of that promise is hinged on the contribution we are going to make. So when I'm supporting you for presidency, it means I'm working with you. And in working with you, I also will bring my own quota of contribution to national development. Now you are there, and we want to bring our quota of national development, and we are not able to bring because impostors have taken the reins. I don't know what arrangement they have with Wike or whoever in Rivers in the PDP. It's insulting, for Christ's sake. If the president needs legitimate vote, he will always count on us. He will always need us. I assure him that. We have given, there is an organization in Rivers State known as Team Cole. Team Cole, I'm not a member of Team Cole. Team Cole had 70,000 votes under lock and key that were delivered to the president. 70,000 human beings in River State, from LGA to LGA, from ward to ward. After doing that, you get off that weekend. Did we mention the name of the president any day in any campaign? As Friday, before the Saturday of the election, PDP members don't know that they were going to, that their leader, Wike, will be supporting the president. On Saturday, during the election, some of them were fighting for PDP, some of them were fighting for Labour Party. I mean PDP members.
All right.
And today you get, there is nothing legitimate that Wike has brought to the table. I said it before the world, and I challenge anybody to bring out anything legitimate, anything praiseworthy, anything noble that Wike has brought to the table that warrants him to be a minister in my place, that warrants him to be a minister in the place of Tonyeko, that warrants him to be a minister in the place of Chukwudibikwa, that warrants him to be a minister in the place of Dakukubi.
I wish we had more time, but I think you've made your point.
That warrants him to be a minister in the place of John Boy.
Thank you for talking to us. Hopefully, the president is listening before he goes on his trip or wherever he is, and he'll listen to members of the APC who are calling for these adjustments to be made in party interest. We'd like to thank you. Mr. Douglas Dodi Emmanuel is an APC member of the River State chapter. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back. And the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress in Niger State have asked its members to boycott planned palliatives distribution announced by the governor. The state chairman of the NLC, Idris Lafine, in a joint conference in Minna today, said the pathetic situation workers in the state are subjected to leaves more to be desired. He explains that Governor Umaru Bago did not come out clearly to include the state's working class in its planned palliative distribution, and that 110 million naira announced by him as palliatives to industrial unions should be collapsed and credited to the salary accounts of civil servants and retirees in the state and the 25 local government areas. Meanwhile, the organised labour resolved to embark on a 2-day warning strike beginning from Tuesday in preparation for a full-blown strike after the expiration of the 14 days ultimatum. And to other stories, the Department of State Services, DSS, says it has uncovered plans by some elements in parts of the country to stage violent protests in order to discredit the federal government and security agencies over sundry socio-economic matters. A statement by the Service Public Relations Officer, Mr. Peter Afunaya, explains that the intelligence reports have indicated the plotters include certain politicians who are desperately mobilizing unsuspecting student leaders, ethnic-based associations, youth, disgruntled groups for the planned action. Meanwhile, the service adds that leaders of the plot have been identified and they are monitoring the situation in order to deter them from plunging the country into anarchy. In view of the development, they're calling on university vice-chancellors, heads of tertiary institutions, parents and guardians to discourage their students and wards from engaging in acts capable of derailing the public peace and shun the lure of participating in inimical behaviours or conducts against law and order. But let's head to Katsina State, where the government has commenced the distribution of palliatives in Kankara local government area. This is to cushion the effects of hardship faced by residents following the removal of fuel subsidy. The state's deputy governor, while launching the distribution exercise in Kankara Township Stadium, explains that the palliatives will cover all the 361 wards of the state, where each of 6,652 polling units will be given 5 bags of rice. He announced that there are a lot of initiatives by the federal government meant to alleviate the sufferings of the people.
You see, there are a lot of initiatives being initiated by federal government. Apart from the palliatives, we are looking at the transport sector, and the labor unions are also putting pressure on the federal government to negotiate the wages. So there are so many things that government intends to do to alleviate the suffering being encountered by people as a result of the withdrawal of the subsidy. So what I want to appeal to the citizens is that we should take advantage of this and then try to behave in such a way that these things will go down, so that a lot of people the vulnerable groups among the society will benefit. This one is an initiative by federal government, which of course the president will launch the program very soon, and then these buses will be distributed to all the states across the country so that transport fare will be reduced to the barest minimum. And the initiative is not only on the transport sector alone. All other things will be done, particularly empowering the less privileged and then small and medium enterprise businesses, so that at least cushion the effect of the withdrawal of the subsidy. For this palliative, we have given allocation to even the not just the vulnerable groups, even the workers' union.
Or staying with cushioning the impact of fuel subsidy removal, Governor Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State flagged off the distribution of 60,000 bags of 225-kilogram rice at no cost to vulnerable households in the state. Speaking in Yola, the capital, the governor reveals that the commodity, which was initially designed to be sold at subsidized rates, will be distributed free of charge to vulnerable members of the communities.
Gathered.
Meanwhile, in Lagos State, the governor also flagged off the distribution of food palliatives for vulnerable residents. Governor Sanwo-Olu kicked off the exercise at Lagos House, Alawase, Ikeja. He says the initiative will cater for 500,000 households, over 2,500 micro, small and medium enterprises involved in bag manufacturing, food aggregation, packaging and logistics, and over 25,000 employees of the MSMEs will also be directly impacted. And finally on the program, the do-or-die mentality among some members of the political class is because they see politics as the only means of survival. This coming from the former federal lawmaker who represented Kano South Senatorial District in the 9th Senate, Senator Kabiru Gaya. He told Channels Television's Nilta Egbe on our current affairs program Newsnight that the demand by some electorates for sundry favours also stokes corruption among politicians.
When you have a professional politician who doesn't have a profession but politics, then that's why you have a problem. Because in one case, is do or die matter. That is the job he has to survive as a politician, whether he kills to win or whatever he does, whether he tastes corrupt, whether he becomes so corrupt to remain back in that office because he's a professional politician. And that's why we have the problem. So most of those people, and unfortunately Nigerians do help people working in government to be corrupt. I can give you an example, yes. When they appoint a permanent secretary, I'm not talking of minister also, or a minister, his few from his community will come to celebrate in Abuja that the man of the town or the village or the relation has become a permanent secretary or a minister. Somebody will throw party for him more than the salary of the minister or the permanent secretary. And then the permanent secretary will be very happy that people have brought him donations, gifts, and so on. That is corruption. If the person that sponsored him for his own party, that he became a minister, tomorrow he will be in the minister's office for a job. And if you're not a good contractor, the minister will have to find a way in cutting corners to give that man. And that's corruption.
But are there no rules against all of this?
If there are rules, it's because most of us will break the rules. Even from the grassroots. Like a politician who wants to vote for us, you carry leaves and put on his head. Say he's for sale. He's selling his conscience. Give him 5,000, 1,000. He go and vote for you. And for you putting that money for him to vote for you, it means you are investing money.
Oh, you can catch that interview later tonight at 9 p.m. Well, that's our show at this time. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Wonka. Bye for now.